With free next-day delivery from Staples, you can run your business like a pro. You can guarantee the marketing department that they'll get their supplies tomorrow and guarantee the accounting department that they'll be delivered free. With free next-day delivery, you'll have the ability to move deadlines up and adjust budgets down. Go to staples.com and get the office essentials you need delivered next day for free. Staples. It's pro time. Orders over $49.99. Placed by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Eligible items only.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, I thought I was going to be late for my own show, and actually it's 5 o'clock on my clock, so I'm not going to stress out too much about that. Before we get to Julie's interview, as usual, because I'm never around anymore, let's go through some work business really super fast. So this will be like 120 seconds that Julie has to hold on. First of all, I don't want to forget to mention Lee McNabb and Mike Wickett just tied the knot in Las Vegas. Really cute, really quick story about that. Lee McNabb was at 103.7. She's one of the first radio personalities I ever met, and she's also one of the first people to influence me that I had a radio voice and I had a badass attitude and I should go for radio. And here I am 5 years later. So to you, Mike and Lee, even though I'm completely not in a relationship right now, I'm so flippin' proud and excited to know both of you. I don't know a couple that's any more in love and deserves more happiness than the two of you. So thank you so much. Real quickly, Art is Alive Film Festival. I have a total of 30 films that are in. I need 30 more. Please. June 12th is the deadline. Art is Alive Film Festival's Facebook page, filmfreeway.com. You can find it there. Submit. Actual late deadline is June 12th, but I'm not upping the ante, which means it's $40 to submit, whether it's today, tomorrow, or all the way up until June 12th. As it relates to the comic book, we're going to be at Wichita Comic Con, which is June 2nd and June 3rd. Wichita, Kansas, look it up. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know where the hell we're going. It's somewhere in Wichita. I know there's going to be like 25,000 people. I know I'm super excited. I know my kiddo is super excited. It's the first debut of the comic book. If all goes well and we sell the 3,400 copies there, literally, we are done. We have funded the clinical trial. So excited, so panicked. I can't stand it. Nuts. Reminder to everybody, publicists, people, anyone I know. I'm not kidding when I say this because I think you guys push it a little too far. I have one date this month. I have 2 in June. I have 10 in July, and I'm booked for summer basically because I'll be in New York for 2 weeks. So anybody that needs an interview, you need to let me know ASAP. That's today, tomorrow, by 5 at the absolute latest. To those that are local, my little man, Kerwin, actually did the props for the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I want to say Willy Wonka production that's going on. So to those of you that are in the Milwaukee area or close to Tosa, that would include Brittany, your daughter, who goes to school with my son, Brooklyn. Tosa West, 7 o'clock on May 12th. They're going to be doing a production of the Chocolate Factory. Please go if you can. I'm very, very super proud of my kiddo. So go ahead and check the props out. Last thing I want to announce real quickly is Cannabis Con. I think it's actually called Chromicon. Somebody sent it to me. It's the first cannabis comic book convention that I've been asked to participate in. It'll be myself. It'll be George Christie, who, of course, is from the A&E Outlaw Chronicles. And you're also going to want to come because the man who used to play Henry Hill is going to be there, Christopher Cerrone from Goodfellas. Really super excited about that, too. So please mark that on your calendar for July. That's in Las Vegas. And the last thing I want to remind everybody, because I have such a large New York City base, I'm surprising Donna Ross, my best friend. I will be there next week. I come in Wednesday at 9 o'clock. I stay all the way until 10 o'clock Saturday, and then I fly my butt home because my kids are here and it's Mother's Day. If you can, please make it a point to spend some time getting a hold of me because I miss you guys so much. You're my family, and I need to be with you. So having said that in a mouthful, I'm going to shut up. We're going to have Julie on the line, and I'm going to have a drink, and then we're going to talk. How does that sound? So without further ado, let's start our interview. Hi, Julie. Hello?
Hello. How are you?
I had to breathe there for a second. If you were listening to that whole thing, that's my world right there. That's like half of what's going on right now. So I need to just take a breath. All right, so here we are. We're both here, and it's 5 o'clock, and I'm not nervous anymore. I've been waiting all day for this interview. I'm excited. I have a lot of questions. You're probably going to jaw drop, and I'm okay with that. So I want to start by talking about something that's very important. By that I mean there's a difference between you, your riding club, and you as a person. So we're going to talk about you personally, we're going to talk about you professionally, we're going to talk about your riding club. But the first thing we want to talk about is some of your signature trademarks, the corsets, the heels, the stuff that you really like. Was that something that you started young on, meaning that your mom did this? This was something somebody caught your attention, you wanted to do this, or is this just a Julie exclusive?
Just a Julie exclusive. I actually hid clothes in my duffel bag when I went to school because I was not allowed to wear anything that showed my tummy area to school. So,
Really?
raised in a very Catholic family. Yes, really.
Oh,
just probably recently, probably 30 years, once I came out of my shell. So.
Oh, my gosh, look at that. That's amazing. Now, I'm going to catch you off guard here, or maybe I won't because you're a smart woman. So we all want to know just exactly how many high heels are in that closet, completely, total number.
Well, I haven't completely unpacked all my boxes, but I have over 200 pairs of stilettos.
Did anyone else just drop there? Because I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even think that's normal. Are you rich? Because that's what most of us are thinking. That was the first thing I thought of when I looked at her. I'm like, that girl has either got to be rich or she's going to discount stores left, right, and sideways. How do you get 200 pairs of shoes? How does this happen?
Well, there are quite a few sites out there that you can get shoes anywhere from $10 to, I think my most expensive pair was $300. And I'm very selective of which ones I wear on my bike only because I get a little nervous that I might wreck the more expensive pairs. But if I see it, I like it, and I buy it. That's
Oh, my God, did you just hear that? I care about my shoes when I'm on the bike. Not me. Not that I'm going to get killed. Not that there'll be an accident. I just care about those shoes, damn it. This is so Carrie Bradshaw moment. I can't believe it. That's too funny. Okay, so since you brought it up, we are going to talk about this. The very first time I saw you riding on a bike, and I didn't know you. I didn't know you from Adam. I had heard about you from someone, and I'm not going to reveal who. And they said, you have to meet this woman. And I said, why do I have to meet her? And they're like, you'll see when you look at her. And now when I look at you, now I know why. I know why they said what they said, and they were right dead on. So I'm looking at Julie for the first time, and you see this way. To those of you that have never seen Julie before, she's decorative art, literally from top all the way to the bottom, from her face to what she wears to her heels, the whole 9 yards, right? So I'm looking at you, and I see you, and you're getting off this bike, and all I could think of was, and we want to talk about this because I think it's important, you obviously choose to ride in your stilettos. So there's a twofold question here. First of all, why do you do that? Meaning, is it just a fashion thing, or is it just more comfortable for you, et cetera? And then second of all, I want you to talk to anyone listening in who either does ride or wants to ride, the pros and the cons to that, meaning how dangerous is this for you? Do you actually have fears yourself about potential injury or et cetera because of the fact that you wear heels versus, let's say, a boot?
First of all, I chose to wear heels because it's my signature. I choose to be different. So there aren't a lot of women out there that wear heels when they ride. Is it dangerous? If you can't walk in them, of course it's going to be dangerous riding in them. I can be in heels for 14, 16 hours and not have pain or roll an ankle or bust a heel. And yes, I have never broke a heel riding my motorcycle.
Wow. That is so cool. Oh, my God. I can't even walk in heels for 12 hours. I'm so jealous of you right now. I can't even believe that. And as it comes to riding on the bike, just so I understand this, because as you said, not a lot of women wear heels while they're riding. So is there a way that you can literally tweak your bike to make it easier for you when you're riding heels? Because I guess I haven't looked at your bike closely enough, but it is possible, right? You can actually do things to your bike to coordinate or make you more comfortable with heels on, correct? Or safer, I should say.
Not so much safer. I have a heel-toe shifter, so I never use the front of my foot, the toe of my shoe. I use the front part of my foot, the front part of the shoe, and I touch back and forth, which is your heel-toe shifter.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
If that makes sense.
It makes sense to me. I'm trying to make it easier for people listening in. Like, let's say, for instance, I have a listener right now who's never been on a motorcycle. Literally, they've always been a backseater, never ridden in the front seat. I'm just trying to give them a scenario. Like, if they were riding with you right now, what would they be seeing as you're sitting there with the front pedal?
They would see my left leg going up and down as I'm shifting, just a little bit, tapping back and forth as I'm shifting.
Okay, got it.
Shifting the motor. Otherwise, nothing different at all. And even though it looks like I'm wearing a very high heel, I always have a platform. So platform 2 inches, heel may be 6, but really I've only got 4 inches. And a normal Harley boot does have a heel on it too, a women's Harley boot, and it's usually about a 2-inch height.
Okay. Now I have a better understanding of that. And hopefully you folks that are listening in get an idea of that, because that's important, because obviously when we talk about getting on a motorcycle, there's components that we can control, and then there are components, of course, that outside sources bring into this picture, which is another great question I want to ask you. Oftentimes, and I can't stress this enough to people all the time, there are people that are not on a motorcycle, that are in a regular vehicle or in a truck, etc. Talk to me a little bit about, do you think things are getting better in the way of people are actually really making a conscious choice to pay attention to folks like you on the road, or do you think we've still got some work to do while we're driving around?
People need to be more aware of motorcycles. Now that the season is starting to gear up, I've had quite a few accidents of near friends, close friends of mine that and they're still in the hospitals. One has lost her life, and I don't think people really realize how much a motorcycle weighs and what type of experience you need to stop a motorcycle when somebody pulls out in front of you. I mean, there's a lot to going into that, and people driving a car need to be more aware of their surroundings, and pulling out in front of a motorcycle is just not something that you do. And or turning in front of one, or I want to emphasize that. I know our seasons are short all over the world. Some people ride year-round, but it just seems like at the beginning of our riding season there are more accidents because people are not aware of the two wheels that are coming out and being out. And sometimes they are hard to see. People are not, looking for them, or they see the visibility of the smallness of a motorcycle, and that's when accidents happen. So four-wheel people, please be more aware of your surroundings and watch for those two wheels, and take caution and give us a little bit of room.
Of course. And the other question being, which this gets brought up a lot too, and I notice this between cars to cars, but I'm not so sure again, does the texting come into play? Does the phone thing come into play? Because I know people, I can see them constantly on their phone all the time, texting, etc. Do you feel that this is a major contribution when it comes to motorcycle accidents? Do you think that plays a part in some of this?
Oh, definitely. People are looking down and they're crossing the line and they're on the wrong side of the road, and what happens? Head-on collisions. Whether it's with a car, with another car, or a motorcycle, that is a big thing. And it is against the law to be doing that. And they shouldn't be driving and texting. I have a Bluetooth where I can talk on my phone while I'm on my motorcycle, and that's the new evolution of the motorcycles. But even then, that's not safe. It only takes you a minute to pull over and take your phone call, do your texting, whatever the case may be, or wait till you get to your final destination and do it then.
Oh, correct, without a doubt. I couldn't agree 100%, 150% in that particular regard. Also, the other thing I want to approach about, because this is a highly debatable issue amongst motorcycle riders, I've found, and all the people that I've talked to or met with or ridden with, some people are pretty staunch on the idea of, I've been riding for years and years, I don't need to wear a helmet. So I guess I should probably ask you, what are your thoughts on that? And have you worn a helmet or at present? I've seen you ride, so obviously I know. But talk to a little bit, the folks, the novices out there. Is a motorcycle helmet crucial or essential? And, of course, talk about the law as it relates to motorcycle law and helmets.
The last trip that I was on, it was mandatory to wear the helmet. And there are states in the United States that you have to wear a helmet. I choose in our state, it's not a helmet law, that I do not wear one. The friends that I've had in the recent accidents have all head injuries, which makes me think more that a helmet is something that I should maybe wear, but I've also lost friends who have had helmets on and they still did not make it. So I guess it's ride what you feel comfortable with. If you think you need a helmet to make you feel more safe, by all means wear one.
I gotcha. And, of course, nowadays I've seen some of these really cool-looking helmets. I get yelled at all the time because I won't wear a helmet either, but usually I'm in the back side, not the front side, so I'm like, I don't think it matters as much. But I do think it's important, folks, that you keep in mind that, state law is state law. Whether you're going to be in Wisconsin or somewhere else, you need to be cognizant of, things along those lines. Okay, so we're going to switch gears a little bit and stop talking about motorcycles. We're going to start talking about just straight Julie. First of all, I want you to tell me how many nicknames you have, because I know what the one is that you sign your email on, but I've heard you get called other things. Like I've heard you called Jules before. I've heard you call yourself various names. So tell me the nicknames you've been given, and obviously there must be significance to why you have them.
Jules was back in the day. When I first probably started riding, and probably more because of the glitzy, glittery bling, and since the spelling is a little bit different now, but I've also have heels by day, bootsy by night, which was from a dear friend of mine, Paul Klink, who has given me that nickname, and because I wear heels all the time, and I wear boots all the time. So he just, business heels during the day, bootsy at night was another one. I don't know.
I gotcha.
I think those are the few that I have that I really know about. I'm sure there might be a few other ones
the ones
out
that
there.
You've heard, actually. People are like in a corner saying, yeah, we've got this name for her, this name for her. That's one of the things I want to bring up, because Julie, if you know Julie, and most of you obviously don't, because 60,000 of you aren't going to be like, hey, I know that Julie girl. It's probably about 1,000, and I'm okay with that. But to know Julie is to know that one of the things that she's very, very honest and open about is the fact that women have a tendency to, and I'm not going to lie, your radio show host right here up until very recently was scared to death of her. She's a very intimidating force. I don't think you realize, and I don't think you mean to. I think a lot of it comes down to presence, et cetera. And I want you to talk a little bit about some of your experiences, because you did say that you struggled at a given point in time, meaning maintaining friends, not necessarily because you're not a friendly girl per se, but I'm sure that there are a bunch of my listening audience members out there that are saying to themselves, you know what, I had that too. A lot of my gal pals who ride motorcycles look very mean. They look like they could kick your ass in 30 seconds. I'm not going to lie, Julie, oh my God. I showed your picture to somebody the other day, and they're like, they could kick someone's ass in 3 seconds flat. And I'm like, but you don't know her. I'm like, she looks this way. So sometimes looks can be very deceiving. So we want to talk about the obvious thing out there, which is 9 times out of 10, I find most people are either intimidated or feel like they fall a little short when it comes to being around a motorcyclist. Talk to me about why you think that you have that persona, for instance, or most people actually in the motorcycle world tend to fall under that persona. And tell us, some of us that aren't motorcycle riders, for instance, how we can all kind of merge and get away from that persona and look at you for who you really are. Make sense?
Questions thrown at me here.
Sorry.
First of all, in intimidating, unapproachable, I get more from the male standpoint, not so much the female. Women, any shape, size, color, I welcome with open arms. It takes a little bit to get to know who I am, because I do have a heart of gold. Some people don't give it the time they need to find out who I really am inside. They're lost. I'm a very inspirational, motivational person. I help thousands of people probably in the last, 3-4 years, whether it's riding motorcycles, relationships, trying to get over their life in the past and tell them that they need to be more positive about themselves to get to maybe a better place, or even to a place where I am, where I truly don't care what people think or say. This is who I am. I'm not changing. And if you don't like who I am or what I have to offer, then you need to walk the other way.
Sure.
So it's a tough call, because eventually the ones that walk away usually come back because they missed something that I have given them, and they will come and go, and I will continue helping them, and that's just who I am. So
nice. Very nice. Very impressive. See what I mean? By the end of this interview, you guys will know about 75 impressive things about her, because I've compiled a list. I actually have it in my head, and it's on paper because I didn't want to forget anything. We want to pinpoint every little darling point of you. Okay, another thing you might notice about Julie, if you've ever met her or just go to her Facebook page, she might have a tattoo or 2 or 3. So I guess I should get the tally on that. We have 200 on the shoes. How many we got on the tattoos now?
18.
Oh, that's 18 more than I have.
Just 18. Oh, my gosh, you're a virgin.
18 more than I have. Oh, my God. Okay, so we're going to talk about the obvious because, first of all, I'm a virgin, and I keep saying I'm going to break the cherry and I'm going to get it done. So, we want to talk about tattoos a little bit. I'm going to guess that there's significance to almost all because most people typically get a tattoo because it's significant to them. To you personally, how has that managed to be a mark of who Julie is? Meaning, how does that represent who you are? And also, where does a girl like me go for the first time to break herself in and can't get drunk or anything? So, a little nervous about all that. A little scared.
I have gone to a few tattoo places. First of all, Horseshoe down on the east side is where I've gone for my last couple tattoos. I have my full back is done, which is angel wings and a cross, and it's kind of my guardian angel type of thing. I'm big into the angel and the protective spirit type thing. So a lot of my tattoos have that signature in them. I have one on my arm of a woman. She's only half done. I haven't figured out what I want to do with the bottom half of her, but it is a woman with angel wings coming off of her backside. So, yeah, all of them have significance. I have cherubs on the back, which I have 3 of them, each one of which is my daughter's, and they all have chisels, and they're chiseling out another person in the middle, which signifies myself. So they molded their mother as they were growing, and that one is very sentimental to me. I'd like to add more. My grandchildren, I have 4 beautiful granddaughters, so eventually I'll keep adding, and it's an addiction. I'm not going to lie. You get one, and you're going to want to keep going. As far as the pain, now here, let's get to the good part. As long as you do it on a meaty part of the body, there isn't any pain. It's more of an annoying buzzing noise. If it's a bony part of the body, you will have significant pain. The one on the top of my foot, I'm not going to lie, it cried. It was very, very painful. And other people who have had them done on their feet say that it hurts. I have one on my arm. Yeah, that was a little bit sore to it on the inside of my arm. That one hurt. I forgot the ones on my eyes. I have my eyeliner tattooed.
Oh, my God. Listen to this. It never ends. Oh, my God. Shoes, tattoos. I'm afraid to keep asking about other collections in the house because I know a few things about you, so I know you have other things, too. But that blows my mind. I'm like, okay, great. Okay, but now I'm feeling a little bit better about this, so I'm going to get it done. My daughter has 3, and it's ridiculous because she's like, Mom, I'm already 3 ahead of you. And I'm like, I know. You people suck. I get it. I suck. I'm just too busy. I have to make time, and I just have to buckle down, and I have to get it done. So maybe, give it a month or 2, or we'll see. It'll get done before the end of the year. That's what I say. There are some things about Julie that you should know that she likes that actually we share. Obviously, you saw the post the other day about Lady Gaga, so we're in process of, apparently I'm talking to Julie and she's now gone. There's that awkward moment where all of a sudden you lose that call, and it kind of sucks because we're in a good role here with the interview, and she's gone, and that kind of sucks. So I'm just going to fill time by talking right now about other things like, let's see what's going on this evening. We have, good. Thank God Julie is back because I don't know how long I could have ad-libbed that one. I get talking to you and then you disappear. Ouch. Like a bad date.
Sorry about that.
But she's back. I'm back. You only broke off once, so that's a good thing. See, sometimes this happens during the subway and when I get really irritated because the call drops 14 times. So let's try to keep it together here. We're good. You got back to me, so that's good then. I was just going to say, Julie likes mutual things that I like. We already know that you're going to co-host with me for Lady Gaga. Would you be up for that? Literally being on the radio and talking to her? Or would that be weird for you?
Oh, yes. No, I would love it.
Listen to her. She's like, heck yeah, I'm down for that. She's an acquired taste, let me tell you. I talked to a publicist friend of mine who knows her publicist, and that's how this works in this business. And I was like, you know what, I really want to do this. She's a mental health platform that I'm very excited about. Who doesn't like Lady Gaga? She's very over the top. She just lost her boyfriend or the whole engagement thing. So I was like, oh my God, yeah. So of course, Julie, you're my number one pick. So if I get her, you're going to come on here, you're going to talk to her, you can ask her whatever you want. I'm very open about that stuff. So Julie and I share an affinity, of course, for Lady Gaga. Both of us like Eddie Butts, which is awesome because they're one of my favorite bands, period. Big Wheel Band. Scott Walter's a very good friend of mine, which I think is awesome. But here's what cracks me up. So next time you guys go on Facebook, you look Julie up and you just look at her, right? So this is so funny. So you go through the stuff that she likes, and she's like, oh, yeah, I'm a biker, and she looks all tough and this and that. And then you go to the movie section, and then there's things like Free Willy, You've Got Mail, Wizard of Oz, Trolls, and I'm like, Julie B likes this stuff? I'm like, that's so being a grandma, because I'm so not thinking Julie's at home when the grandkids aren't there watching Trolls, right? I mean, you're so not watching Trolls, right? Or are you?
No.
That's what I thought. It was so funny. Okay. Now,
I guess maybe I should go and
about,
change that.
Well, you know what? I'm a journalist, so here's what happens. Like, I have to dig, like, for stuff all the time to make people interesting. So I'm like, oh, this will be a fun fact. Only because most of us that know you, we see you all the time. So constantly she's either on a motorcycle or she's out, doing this or this. Or she's constantly on the run all the time. And she just appears so very different. So then when all of a sudden you're seeing the Trolls thing and you're like, oh, yeah, she's a grandma. But if you didn't know that, you'd be totally floored by something like that. Now, we'll very briefly talk about the fact that Julie is a Packer fan. And I'm not going to hurt you for that because usually, as we all know, I'm a huge non-Packer fan. So I do have a question relative to your affinity, because you are a huge fan. I mean, she goes out. I see her constantly. She's at the bar. She's constantly being a good fan. She's never talking trash about the team. So just talk to me a little bit about why the big fixation with the team? Or have you just been a longtime fan? Do you know somebody on the team, et cetera? What's the deal with that?
It was something that I shared with my father. We used to watch the games all the time, and I just continued that momentum. And in his memory, I take time, and whether they're winning or losing, I'm on board. I'm not one of those fair weather fans that, oh yeah, it's almost the end of the season, and they're in the playoffs, and now I'm jumping on board, and because they're the winning, playing in the playoffs. So, it was just something my dad and I shared, and I wanted to continue doing that. So,
very, very cool. Yeah, that's on my to-do list. I was like, last year I bashed them pretty good. So this year, I don't know about you as a female. It's just hard for me to follow it. You know what I mean? I get the whole throw the ball, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like the calls and all the stuff involved with football, I just don't get it. I'm like, maybe if I got that, I probably might appreciate it a little bit more. I'm not sure. I've just really never sat down and watched the whole thing. So maybe this year. That's on the list, along with the tattoo and many other things, apparently. We want to switch gears a little bit. I want to ask you about the motorcycles themselves, meaning your motorcycles, because I know that you've owned at least 1,000 of them. So we want to talk a little bit about yours. Tell me how you choose them, how you get them designed, et cetera, meaning is there a particular means or methodology behind what you do as it relates to your bikes?
Well, when I started riding, my first Harley was a Sportster, which was the biggest mistake of my life. It's not a beginner bike, but that was the only bike I could get my hands on, and that was for the 95th anniversary. And I wanted a Harley to ride for the anniversary. So I bought the Sportster. That was the only bike that I could get a hold of. Since then, I probably had two dozen bikes, all different kinds. I've always stayed with the Road King. I love the ride. I like different. So I have a yellow 05 Road King, which people refer to as the banana bike, because it's yellow, and there are very few of those out there. I also have a Fat Boy, hence my email address, with Fat99 in it. That one's down in Florida. It has a custom paint job that was done by Jamie's Customs down in Big Bend, and I love that. I can't get rid of that one. I love the solid rims. It's polished shine. Just one that I hung on to since 99. I do have two Street Glides, one which is my big wheel bagger. I started noticing them back, I want to say they've probably been around 4, 5, 6 years now, maybe longer than that. And as it started getting bigger and bigger, I'm just like, I need to get a bike like that. And I contacted probably a dozen different custom builders, friends of mine that I had met along the way, because I've been down to Daytona for 18 years. And every year I talk to more and more people, and I chose a company in Minnesota, Deadline Customs, and hats off to them because they did an amazing job with my bike. The painter, Jeff, kind of stalked my Facebook page and took things off of there, and I have a mural of myself on the back of my bike with my headband and the cross that I'm wearing, and a corset, of course. Of course. And I wanted good and evil, and I've got lighter wings on one side and darker wings on the other, and a dove and a raven. And so you have to look at, I mean, if anybody ever sees me out riding that bike, they have to really take a look at it, because both sides are not the same. And
sure.
So a lot of money put into it. I have one-off wheels from D&M Customs out in Seattle. So it was just something that I felt once in my life, I'm going to build this bike, and there will never, ever be another one like it. It's mine. It's got a little saying in the inner fairing that says angelically challenged, which Jeff nailed that one on the head. And then my new bike that I just bought last year, I saw it. It's the Streetlight Special, black with glitter, silver, and gold with black flames on it. And I saw it. I didn't even sit on it. And I said, I want to buy it. So
look at that.
I fell in love with the paint. And it's very, people call it the bass boat because it looks like the bass boat on the paint job on a bass boat because of all the glitter in it. Mm-hmm. I just like it because of the silver and gold, because to me it's like jewelry, a lot of bling.
No, I agree. I agree, definitely. And you can bling your bike out nowadays. Oh, my God. I have seen some of the coolest designs and some of the coolest different paint jobs you see, different places you go. Well, you know this, obviously. You go to different rallies, you go to different events, you see all different types of bikes, all different styles, and I'm always intrigued. Art on a bike is similar to me, in my opinion, similar to art on a woman, similar to art in your home. It all it has that link to it. It's all a representation of yourself, and your bikes clearly are a representation. I mean, I'm telling you have to see her bikes to appreciate. You get a sense of who she is by looking at the motorcycle that she rides, the type of clothing that she wears, the ink that she's already got, even the heels. Yes, that's right, actually. Do I dare ask how many pieces of jewelry you own? Because I thought I had a few, but you apparently got me beat here, too. So let's see. Approximately, let's say, how much jewelry do you have? Let's say bracelets, things along those lines with all that bling we're talking about.
Oh, my God. I can't even.
Right?
I have a stand-up armoire full. I have 3 drawers in my dresser, and I have 2 other stand-up jewelry boxes.
Oh, my God. I don't know about you people. I want her to adopt me, and then I want to play with her jewelry and her makeup and her heels, okay? Right? Because anybody in their right mind is, like, sitting here thinking, I'm so jealous of you. It's sickening. Oh. All right, let's move on to something else. I'm getting depressed just listening to this. We're going to switch gears a little bit away from the motorcycle once again. We're going to talk about 2 really important things here, and I think majorly important. We're at that point in the interview where everyone you get asked the same question that I ask of celebrities and everyone else. This is the most important question I'm going to ask you in this interview. I'm going to encourage you right off the bat, do not get this wrong. Do not answer this wrong. I say this just like this to everybody. This is a very serious question, Julie, so I don't want you to get it wrong. Okay?
All right, I'll stop laughing.
Because this might affect our potential friendship down the road. Okay, so besides Julie B., who's on my show today, there's only 4 other people in this entire universe that I want to interview. And I've been going after the same actor. He's on my wall all the time. I've been chasing him for 18 months. And so every time someone comes on the show, I build up my excitement and I say, you know what, today's the day, Julie. So today, Julie, I'm going to say to you, I know that you know actor Michael Madsen, and you have his cell phone number, and you're going to give it to me, and I'm going to get that interview. And this is the part where you say,
of course I'll get that number and I'll give it to you right after we get done with this interview.
Yes. And do you even know who Michael Madsen is, Julie? I'm just making sure before you get yourself in a little trouble. Do you know who he is? No, I don't. Like, okay, so she literally just screwed up the most important conversation that we're going to have on this. I think we should just end the interview. Just kidding. I don't know what I got to do. I mean, you're like 18,000th person I've asked for this damn guy's number. It's frustrating. I'm like, it's hard when you want to have an interview, and I know you obviously don't know him. You're not in the celebrity realm necessarily. You're a celebrity in Milwaukee. But he's a celebrity in Hollywood, and it's hard to take. It's frustrating. My business is frustrating. So it's like the running joke of the show now. Like, literally, I ask everyone. And there are some people that work with him that I know, et cetera. So I keep fishing. I'm getting a little closer. I thought for sure you had that number. So thanks for disappointing me. I might have to open up a bottle of wine right now while we're doing the show. But thanks for letting me down. Okay. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to talk about something that's very near and dear to you. Now that we've talked about what's near and dear to me, I want to talk a little bit about, because some of us, of course, have done the rallies. I have yet to do more than one, which is I've only been to Daytona like years ago. So talk a little bit about, to the folks that are out there. I see that you run the gamut and you've been to the different rallies. You go out of town a lot, et cetera. So tell folks a little bit about the pros and the cons. Some people swear by, you know what, I need to get to every rally at least once, et cetera. But I'm noticing that the trend lately is a lot of people are trailering their bikes now. They're not riding out there, et cetera. So tell me a little bit how riding has changed as it relates to the rallies.
Because us coming from the Midwest, the weather is very iffy, and going halfway down the United States to, say, Florida, you don't have the ability to see what the weather's going to do, and you don't want to be riding a motorcycle when it's snowing or you've got ice. So putting it in a trailer is more safe, a lot safer, not so dangerous, and you can get there in one piece. You have all your tools, your luggage, all your biker gear. So doing a winter event that's someplace warm, I highly suggest it. And I used to have a truck and trailer, and the trailer used to hold up to 14 bikes. And every year during Daytona, I would trailer the bikes down and stay down there for 10 days and then bring them back. And I would have people contract me to take their bikes down there. I went up to Sturgis once because it was a short term for us to be there. 4 days, I think we stayed. So if you don't plan on being there for a long period of time riding a motorcycle, you're stopping more to get gas. You get tired. Your butt does get sore, I'm not going to lie, and unless you have a nice gel vibrating seat or something like that. I'm not going to lie. You need to get off and walk around. And if you don't have the time, I mean, I did Sturgis 2 years ago. It was amazing. And we rode out, and people tell me we're trailering there. No, you're missing the most wonderful time. It's in August. The weather, I mean, if you get rained on, you get rained on. But otherwise, it's all about the ride and riding out there and the memories and that you make instead of getting in a truck and driving out there and doing it, straight and not stopping. And I don't know. To me, you lose a lot when you do a summer event and you put your bikes in a trailer, unless you're on a time frame. I have lots of friends that have toured the United States, and on their bikes, I mean, they have the time, 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, 2 months, where they can take off and just travel and do the Route 66 or go out to California or, outline the whole United States and just go from state to state to state. And it's, one day I'd like to do that if I ever retire, but right now I do the short ones. But, yes, I've done a lot of bike events. As far as Daytona, it does get old, but every year they have bike shows, and the builders always come out with something new and better than last year or even better than 6 months ago, and it's nice to see what's out there. And, it's the same roads. Florida's a flat state. It's not as scenic and beautiful as the state of Wisconsin with all our nice windy, hilly roads. But you make your own fun,
No, I agree. I agree 100%. totally with that, because I think there's much to be said. You know, a lot of times I talk to people all the time, and I say the number one reason to get on a motorcycle, whether it's a short ride or a long ride, is it's all about the ride, as you mentioned, which is the people that you meet, the things that you see. And I always discover something new every time I get on the back of a bike somewhere we go someplace. You either make a new friend, or you find a new meeting spot, or you see something that's very different. I don't think you can really appreciate it until you actually get on a motorcycle for the first few times, and then you pick up all those various different things, clearly, obviously. So we're pretty unified as it relates to that good thing. Since we're talking about Florida, I have to do this because it's my show, so I get to promote anyone I want. So today we're going to not only promote Julie, but we're going to promote Julie's friends and family members. So I very recently became friends because I creeped on Julie's page and I found out who her good friends were. And I approached Fatima in Florida, and so her and I have become friends. And so she told me about this wonderful new salon. So those of you that are listening in, it's going to take you about 35 seconds. If you go to Salon Stylush is what it's called, which is Stylush. If you go onto her Facebook page, we've talked about this, and obviously, of course, it's a salon in Florida. If you go to the Facebook page, you're going to see that they're actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Julie, they're in the process of getting the store together. Do we have any details on exactly when? Fatima didn't tell me when they plan on opening or having a grand opening. Do you have any idea?
The day after Mother's Day, the 15th.
Oh, cool. Okay,
yes.
I'm writing that down right.
Okay, awesome. She is originally from Connecticut, had her own salon up there, moved down to Florida. Okay. She was working for somebody for, I'm not sure how many years, because I've only known her 4 years, but she's like a sister to me. Right. I will always have her back. Probably one of the best friends that I will ever have in my life. And even though we're thousands of miles apart, I can pick up the phone and talk to her at any time, day or night, and I know she'll always be there for me, and vice versa.
That's absolutely amazing. The camaraderie that goes along with this, folks, I'm telling you, it's what the friendships and the families basically that develop through motorcycle riding is just, I can't even tell you how many some of my best friends are people that are on two wheels. It's just fabulous. So that means get off your duffs, get on Facebook, look up Salon, and like I said, it's Stylush. So I told her that I would come and visit in Florida, and she's going to color my hair and make me look all pretty because I don't have time for a spa day. I don't even have time to get to the salon. So she's going to make me breathe for an hour and sit there. So you need to patronize her place. And if you don't, I will come to Florida. You can come with me. We'll take a nice tour. We'll patronize her. I think it's important to patronize women. Empowering females. That's a very big thing for Julie. Before we get to that, though, speaking of very big things, let's talk about the most important light love that you have, which is, of course, your children and your grandchildren. You obviously have 3 kids, 4 grandkids that you mentioned. So I have 2 very generic questions about your children, because obviously you love your kids more than life itself, just like I do. But tell me some of the things that you have passed on to them that you believe are fundamental, and also, do they share your love of motorcycle riding? I know the answer, but let's share that with the audience.
Okay. Where do I start?
Sorry.
I have 3 daughters and 3 granddaughters. So when I've raised my daughters from 10, 8, and 6 on, motorcycle riding, my oldest daughter took her class. Actually, she did not take a class. At the time, the man in my life taught her how to ride, and she started riding with me. And once she got married and had children, she said it's more important for me to be here for my children. So she gave up the riding life because she didn't want anything to happen to her. My middle daughter has been riding with me. So I have a best friend, I have a riding partner, and I also have a daughter. So I have 3 of the most amazing things in one person. She started riding with me, oh my gosh, 8 years ago maybe.
Okay.
And maybe even longer. No, probably 18 years. She rode on the back, and then after she decided she wanted to start riding again, the friend in my life taught her how to ride, and she got her license, and she has her own motorcycle, and she will actually be riding with me this Saturday. So I'm excited about that. Yes. My youngest daughter has 2 children as well, and she would like to get a cafe racer, but her too, her thought is that it's dangerous, and I want my children to grow up with a mother, and she has to put that into thought as well. So there's always, when you're a single mom or whether you have a significant other, you don't want to leave that person or your children without somebody to raise them, or, you know, not that anything would ever happen, but that's in their mind right now as they're, you know, because I even told her I have enough motorcycles, she can borrow one.
And shoes and jewelry.
Yes, you may. Well, her feet are smaller than mine, so that won't work. But no, my oldest granddaughter, Brooklyn, which I have to tell you that Brooklyn goes to school with your son.
Yeah.
Yes, and she loves riding with me, and every chance she gets, she climbs on the back with me, and there are very many pictures on my Facebook page, again, of me and her riding, and we've made great memories and have had wonderful times together. My yellow bike, the Banana, I promised her when she turned 16, she's 13 at the moment, when she turned 16, I will give her that bike if she can touch the ground. It is hers to have.
Right.
So she will have her own motorcycle, and she loves my shoes. So when she comes here, she likes to stomp around in them. Yes, but they don't fit her properly. But she loves the heels as well.
I mean, what little girl doesn't? And it's so cute. And I have to tell you, folks, because I've seen Brooklyn before. My son captured her first on Julie's page, and he's like, I know that girl. And I'm like, what? You know Julie's granddaughter? And then this went on with this whole thing. She is the most beautiful creature, let me just tell you. And I mean that in a loving way, because I call my own kitties creatures. She's beautiful, and she is a representation of her mother. I'm not going to lie about that, actually. She's absolutely beautiful. I love that she embraces this motorcycle thing. She loves going out with Grandma to go and get a manicure. I see all these adventures you guys have. Even going to the gym, which I think is so cool, because I'm like, I hate the gym. My daughter goes to the gym, and I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. Let's do something else, anything but any kind of, like, healthy activity. We don't do that. I don't, anyway. But I love the fact that dynamic is there, the fact that they have intrigue and interest about Grandma and those things that you like so much. By the way, I thought twice about calling you Grandma, because you don't look like you take to that well. Or do you take to the word Grandma okay? Because some women are like, don't call me Grandma. Call me Nana.
No. Don't call me Grandma. Yes, Nana.
I'm sorry, Nana.
I don't respond to Grandma because I will never be old enough to be a grandma.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
Yes. No, it totally does. I get it. I've said that too. I'm like, when I get to be a grandma, I'm like, call me Sin or call me this. Don't just call me G. You know, but not the grandma word, because grandma insinuates, well, you know what it insinuates. Aging, to me anyways, so I'll just call you Nana. That's perfectly fine. And since we brought Brittany up, I do not want to forget to mention this. This is more shameless promotion, but it's my show and I can do that, and it happens to be her daughter. Brittany, one of the things that I learned in speaking to her, and by the way, Brittany, I know that you're listening to this, so let me just quickly say, as I said in the email, you are beautiful and talented, and you have the heart of your mother, and that's revealed in many different ways, from the pictures that you take to the way that you speak, in addition to which she has, and I'll put this on I've put it on my personal page, I'll put it on my show page as well, and I'm going to continue posting it up because I have 4,000 friends, and she is about $4,000 short, and if all of you give $1, she'll reach her goal of $5,000. She has a campaign called Save the Children Fundraiser for Syrian Children, and when I asked her why this was most important, she very selflessly, which reminded me of Julie B., actually, her mother, she said something to the effect of how she wanted to make an impact and a difference. She wanted to find a charity that was going to help homeless children. And in particular, what touched her was the fact that these were Syrian children that missed out on the basic needs, whether it's immunizations, whether it's not having somewhere to live, clean water, clean living surroundings, clothing, etc. And so as she broke it down, if you went to Starbucks and spent $5 each time, that's $25, you could literally pay for shots for a child, or you could pay for some form of clothing for them. So her name is Brittany, and the last name, it's Scheid. Is that correct, Julie? I want to make sure I'm getting that right.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't write it down. Sorry, I'm the journalist that I am. Okay, I got it right. And I will put the link on my show page. I'm going to put the link on my Facebook page. I'm going to put it on my Instagram. I'm going to put it on my Twitter. I'm going to send it off on LinkedIn. And I'm going to bug the hell out of you people until you give her $5,000. It's that simple. And why? Just because I like her so darn much. And she's Brooklyn's mom. She's Julie's child. And I'm like, it's a fundraiser for people. And it's kids, people. Kids, okay? You can buy a $5 glass of wine. You can give $5 for Syrian children. That's the way I look at it, folks. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit because I'm a little tired of all my friends. Yes, that's right. And the time I announced that I was interviewing Julie B., I have a total of seven in 4 different cities that have asked, is she single and what is she looking for? Because I still want to hit on that. That's a quote. Isn't that gallant? I still want to hit on that. Julie's single. I know this much. So I want Julie to talk about what she's looking for. So all you men out there, just listen to her because I ain't even going to talk now. You're going to talk. Talk about what you want. She's on the air now. She's right. There's that spot sheet right there. Is it Thor? Because I have a thing for Thor. Okay, sorry. That's me. Okay, I'm quiet now. Go ahead. What are you looking for in that? One of my guy friends asked flat out, will she date a guy who doesn't ride?
Of course I would. There are
really?
other mutual things that, yes, really. But
really?
You know what?
Okay.
I think by a few months into our relationship, I could show him how passionate I am about my riding. And usually there's a give and a take in a relationship. And if he tried to ride and saw what it was like and how it's hard to explain when you get on a motorcycle and what you feel and what releases and what you can capture from being on a motorcycle and get away from people and the stress reliever and the wind in your face and the sun and so much. Yes, I would date somebody that didn't ride, but like I said, they would be riding by a few months into the relationship because they'd never see me.
Nice knowing you. See ya later. Bye. Nice knowing you.
You go your
way.
I'll go my
what
ass.
about?
I'll see you at the end of the night.
There you go. How about tattoos, looks, etc., muscles, blah blah blah? Are you the traditional? I like tattoos, muscles, etc.
Yes, I like a gentleman with a little bit of a bad boy in them. Tattoos are optional, not necessary. Just a little.
Okay.
Just a little.
Okay. Anything else?
If I knew what the equation was, I probably wouldn't be single.
Or maybe they're all afraid of you, Julie. Like they're standing over here looking at her and thinking she's never going to want to look at me. Okay, how about an actor?
And
someone on TV.
Why not? One on TV,
okay
not the guy that you asked me about, right?
No, Michael Madsen's married. Although that is a good ploy.
Yes. No married men.
Michael Madsen's
no married.
Yes. No married men, obviously. No. But no, I have a friend of mine who is an actor who is single, and he saw your picture, and he's like, you know what? But the hard part is people like yourself, you would be perfect for a red carpet, but not everyone is suited to a red carpet. It's a very different way of living, and so it would kink into other things that you do. You know what I mean? Like you'd want to go out and ride for 3 days, and then you go to a film festival, and it takes like 4 days, and then you're with your boyfriend, and it's a little much. So I said to him, I'm like, well, let me just feel her out and see if she'll do any industry people, because most of my friends are either musicians or actors or directors, and they're all in the business, and you may not want something like that, even if they look like Thor or some variation. Sorry, I said that again. I'm on a Thor thing today. I'm just trying to get a sense so I can hook you up in the next day or two. Because all these guys are waiting.
Okay.
Yes, it's that Cindy's dating.
Give him my number. Give him my number.
Oh my God! Listen to this. She just said that on air. I hope your kids aren't listening. Kids, if she's like, yeah, okay, I'm not responsible. What can I say?
My kids want me happy there, Miss Cindy.
Of course.
Listen, my kids want me happy, and they don't want me lonely. So if you can find me the perfect man, I am all for it.
Okay, just remember you said that. Just remember what you just said, because you're going to be thanking me in less than a week. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because on my show, the last thing you get before you leave is going to be surprises, Missy. So just wait. They're coming.
Oh, boy.
Now, this is the part where I'm going to make you cry. One of the things that I do as a journalist that I have come to find out works very well when I interview people, and just to give you a 5-second backstory about Julie, one of the reasons I wanted to interview her is because, first of all, I'm a huge advocate for female riders, and I think that they are still the minority in this world, unfortunately. So I'm an advocate for anything that relates to not only motorcycles, but female motorcycle riders in particular. I am an advocate for her new group as well as the last group she participated with. But moreover, to those of you that listen to me all of the time, Sherry is my best friend. She's my savior. She's my Kwan. She's my mojo. She is the reason I have my inner hippie, my inner everything. She's the reason that I am the person I am right now. And I would be very lost without her. And Julie reminds me a great deal of my best friend here, my best friend in New York City. She's very strong, she's very independent, she's very confident, and I guessed that because I haven't had the chance to have as much time with Julie as I would like, FaceTime or otherwise, and I'm hoping that will change. So I had to go to people that love you, care about you, and have spent a sizable amount of time with you. So, folks, I want you to listen to what people have to say about Julie. This will give you some background about the woman that I'm talking to. Of her friends, the ones that I reached out and spoke to, and I won't tell you who. This is what they had to say in a nutshell. She is one remarkable lady who is considered to be a very awesome person and a friend. She is a hardworking woman and dedicates herself to any job that she does. She is family to some, friend to some, loyal to all, and she is incredible in every way. That's what her friends have to say. Now let me tell you what her children had to say, and I am a big enough woman to admit that when they sent this to me, I had to reread it, and then I cried both times I read it because it's not often the mothers are looked at this way. Just another reason to like her very much. So of her one daughter, and I only got a chance to talk to two of the children, and this is what they had to say. One of them referred to her as her rock, her best friend, and her mentor. She said, she's always taken care of me because as I understand it, I was a very injury-prone child, and so she was always a very hands-on mom. She always carried a huge level of compassion for me and the many others around, and she is truly inspirational to me. And your other daughter's the one that killed me. She said that she could go on and on and on about the list of things that she admires about Julie, but this much she did offer. She said that you carry a sense of empowerment and dedication and courage and strength about you, a huge sense of independence, a very free spirit. You're never afraid of a challenge. You are a beautiful, independent force. You are what she inspires to become and to be daily, which is courageous. Now, when a woman gets spoken to that way about her children and her friends, it is no surprise why it is that I wanted her on my show. I kept joking so much about how nervous I am, and it's reasons like that that make me nervous. Very infrequently that I ever get to talk to someone who is revered this much, besides a celebrity or someone very close to me, etc. You have gained the respect and the love and the adoration for everyone around you. And hopefully by the end of this show, everyone else will feel and see what I do and many others do. But I thought it was important just to share that. So that's a little bit of the Julie personal side of things. Are you alive? Are you okay? That's a bit much.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot. I cried. I was like, and they're not even my kids, folks, okay? Mm-hmm. It's a lot. There's a lot about Julie. And a lot of what they have to say, folks, I'm here to tell you I've either witnessed, I've seen her, I've heard about, even before I met her, and then just watching her and seeing her. You almost have to really watch her to take it in, and I'm not going to lie about that. I realize she's a human being and a person, but she is literally, in essence, one of many layers, and it takes some time to get to know that, obviously. Now, before we get to talk about the writing group, there's two things that I know are important to you, and you can share whatever you want about that or share as little as you like, which is I know blood donation is a very big thing for you. I see you do it very frequently and without hesitation. So I'd like you to talk to folks that may be out there that haven't donated before, why it's important to you, why they should step up to the plate and do it. And then second of all, on top of everything else on the list that's fabulous about her, unfortunately, as I knock on wood, God is gracious enough to keep us and keep her here significantly longer. She has also battled cancer and survived. So I think those are two very big things that we need to discuss. So you share with us whatever you would like about either experience.
Because I am healthy now and they take my blood, I feel that I can help others that are less fortunate than me. Or someday, if, God forbid, I were to ever be in need of blood, that it is available to me. And they always are stressing how low our blood banks are. And actually, the last time I donated, I did dual reds, which I donated twice as much blood. So instead of a normal blood donation, I was able to give two donations in one. Takes a little bit longer, but if your body is able to do it and you've got the weight, the height, the variables needed to do that, you can give twice as much and help out twice as many people. There are a lot of people out there that are ill. I see pictures of children when I go in there that have had illnesses, life-threatening, and have needed transfusions, and I just want to know that I can be a part of helping those people, even though I don't know them, because that's who I am. As far as the cancer, both my parents passed away of cancer. I am a cancer gene carrier. I had cancer when I was 42. I had cancer after that and after that. And yes, I am a survivor. I am not going to let it beat me. So I've basically been cancer-free 12, 13 years or so. So I'm past. I'm hoping I'm past the stage. Not that anybody has ever passed the stage of getting it. My one daughter also had cancer, and she too is taking precautions for that. So I think everybody, and I mean everybody, has been touched with somebody that they either know or related to that has had that awful disease. And staying positive and having a positive outlook and just getting your checkups is very, very important. The preventative is the most important. So,
agreed.
And I'm healthy, and I take care of it, and I make sure that I go in for my checkups, and I'm going to live forever. So look out. Like I said, I'm a kid at heart.
She's share number 2.
Nobody's going to put me down.
She is share number 2, literally, because Cher has said she's going to be around till the end of time. So I'm like, okay, it'll be Cher, Julie, and Cockroach.
Till the end of time.
And Shalala, and her bling and her motorcycles, right?
Yes.
All your stuff. Yes, absolutely. So thank you, God, for sparing her. That's absolutely wonderful and a very inspiring story. And she is 100% dead on, folks. I mean, it takes 35 seconds to schedule an appointment. It takes 1 hour to go in and get checked out. It's just that simple. Sometimes it's a difference between life and death, literally. So it's not something you should monkey around with, folks. So definitely, without a doubt, very, very important topics to discuss, obviously. So now we're going to talk about OAR. Obviously, this is a new riding group that you initiated almost about a year ago or so. And as I understand it, you were approached by women in the community who wanted you to start a group because you had actually led a group prior to this. Now you ventured off on the guise of obviously formulating a group with a set mission. So if you wouldn't mind, please tell my listening audience what you are attempting to accomplish by starting OAR. And why you feel strongly that your group will stand out among other groups in the Milwaukee area or across really the 50 states.
When I started this, I had women that, very close friends that I rode with, that stood up for me, and they felt that they didn't know which way to turn. They didn't want to stay with groups that they were with, and having the friendship that I had and the closeness that I had with these girls, they were turning to me and saying, what are we going to do? All I really want to do is ride. I'm not into the drama. I'm not into the she said thing. The girls that are with me want to ride. So that's what's important to me. As far as the community, I am reaching out to different organizations. I have a ride almost every week until the middle of June that I am assisting in, whether it be on the board or whether I'm heading, getting donations for. I've been asked to be on a number of different committees, but I'm a little overwhelmed, and I do need my Nana life, and my children and grandchildren come first. They're number one before even my motorcycles. So with that being said, I have a friend of mine who organized my ride for Saturday, which is the International Women's Ride, which is basically just about women as riders to get out and ride, whether you're riding with me, whether you're riding in another country. Just know that that day has been set aside because of the presence of the women riders out there and the numbers that we have accomplished. Maybe soon we'll be taking over the percentage of women riders to male riders. I don't know, but it's strictly set aside for us to ride. We have a ride going out. I think there's about 30 of us. I've got a group down in Florida that's riding, and I have a friend that's out in Arizona as well, and they also have showed interest in starting a riding group out there underneath the ORA, which is Open Road Angels. And that's what the ORA is abbreviated for. I also am on the board of the Rustic Road Ride, which is Children's Hospital benefit. This is in their third year. The first year we had 158 riders. The last year was our 450-some, and this year I'm hoping to double that. Joshua John is the leader of that organization, the ride itself, and he's done an amazing job. And our children, it's about our children, taking care of the sick ones and making sure that, we can help them. And all the proceeds that we get are going to Children's Hospital. He will be presenting them a check once the ride is over after the 20th. And then we did pick a day where we are helping one child in need, which is up north. We are going to ride up there and build some ground. I'm not sure if it's going to be deck or swing sets type stuff for this child, but that's another thing that we are doing there. At the end of the month, I've got the Nation of Patriots, which is big for me because I've been starting to do a little bit more with the Stars and Stripes honor flights, which my dad was a vet, and just seeing these people reminds me how much I miss him, and I'm going to get emotional now. Wishing he was here, and because I can't be with him, at least I can be there and help the people that may have served with him at the time he was serving. So, and seeing these vets come into the airport, actually when they leave in the morning or when they come back after their long trip at the end of the day, shaking their hands and hugs and kisses and family there, and parents, grandparents, grandchildren, the younger, generations and generations of children that are there to support their family members that have served. It's just remarkable. There's just so much that can be done out there, and I try and do a little bit of everything. So my group has been trying to do stuff like that. We've got a Milwaukee group leaving out of Brookfield on the 27th, going to Madison, and that ride tours the whole United States. It takes our United States flag, it gets connected to a motorcycle, and it goes from state to state, from one motorcycle to the next motorcycle. It gets passed along the way. It's gone for 100 days, and it gets brought back to Wisconsin the week after Labor Day weekend. It used to be Labor Day weekend. They pushed it off a week, and then it'll come back to Beaver Dam, which is not too far. Another thing that I would like to do, take off one summer and ride with the flag. It's so rewarding. And then in each town, the servicemen come together and they serve food, or they'll donate food or their time, and it's almost like a parade where the people stand on both sides of the road and they welcome the motorcyclists that are, that are bringing the flag into their state and into their city or town. And even when we go through towns, they know about the time that we're going to be coming through, and it's just so heartwarming to see that kind of welcoming. So that's one of the rides that I'm doing. The next one is a local ride for a gentleman who was in a very crazy accident. He lost his leg working on his car in his garage, and it got severed. And I chose to do a benefit for him. That's on June 10th. That's for the Larry Lee Hansen benefit. And how can you go from having two legs and being able to function every day to not being able to walk and not being able to take care of yourself? And, his wife is with him and taking care of him as well, but there's still things that need to be paid for, and when nobody's working and there's no funds coming in. So we're doing a big ride. We've got over 50 people that are interested in riding, and then we're doing a benefit after with auction, silent auction, fishbowl. A band's going to play, and we're hoping to raise lots of money for him just to give back to to somebody in the community that's in need. So a lot of things going on in the next month or so.
You bet. She just did my job for me. She just literally listed all the events that I was going to. But you can keep talking if you want, or I can list them. I'm going to talk about all of them, as a matter of fact. But since you started talking, I didn't want to interrupt her because, if I interrupt her, she'll hurt me. Just kidding. She's mean. She's not mean at all, ever. I hope. I hope. Yeah, you should be. It's my show. See, now I actually get to put her in her place because, when I'm around her, I'm like, oh, hi, and I'm, afraid to touch her. But she's on my show now, so I can do whatever I want. Okay, so I was talking, of course, about a couple questions relative to the writers group, people that are listening in. You touched on something that I was going to bring up, which is if someone's listening today in New York City or California and they not only feel inclined to want to start an ORA chapter, how can they do so? And second of all, why is it important for females to register via your website?
Well, they need to register so that I can share with them what's going on my page. Okay. And I'm always posting inspirational things about women riders on that page. Mm-hmm. As far as the donations, they can send me a PM to Julie Banaszak, Banaszak, in parentheses, Bootsy underneath. And I would love to take their donation. They can send gift baskets, gift cards, or they can just send cash donations. I've got a few mystery gifts that I'm trying to set up for Larry Hansen. Cool. As far as the other one, Nation of Patriots, they can go right to the website, nationofpatriot.com. It's a nonprofit for wounded vets. In each state, money is raised for that state. They are more than welcome to go to that site. Children's Hospital, it would be, again, the Rustic Road Ride. So I guess I've got a little bit of space left for friends to friend request me. Otherwise, you can go to ORA and like my page, and I share events that I'm doing all the time, and that way they can see what's going on. And if they're wanting to donate, they can contact me directly or go right on that page of the event and let me know, and I will reach out to them and find a way to get that money. I also do PayPal if they're interested in doing PayPal. All I need is their email address, so one or the other, they need to contact me directly for that.
Okay. Now, relative to Larry's ride, do we have a target number? Obviously, of course, more money is better, more donations is better than less. But if we're shooting for a target number and a deadline, because obviously, folks, the ride itself is June 10th. So we're guessing, do we have a deadline on accepting donations, et cetera? How long have they got here?
I will continue accepting donations even after the event.
Okay. Gotcha. Just making sure. We want to be clear.
Yeah, I think it's an ongoing thing because he will continue needing help until he can actually, I don't know if he'll ever be able to actually have a job. I mean, maybe, I would be taking donations even during the event. The event is the 10th of June. The ride itself is leaving the VFW post in Okauchee. It's a 3-hour ride. After the ride is done, at 2 o'clock back at the post, we will arrive on motorcycles, and we will have the live auction and the band going on. So even during that time, my phone is on 24/7. I do not turn it off. Anybody wants to contact me, I will be more than happy to take their donation at any time of the day or night.
Nice.
It's important.
It's important.
Yes.
and it's important to the community.
Oh, God, yeah, without a doubt, especially because of the fact that, like you're mentioning, when a person becomes physically handicapped due to something like this, it can be just, I mean, literally, it can be devastating. Tragic is the word that comes to mind. And so sometimes there's never enough money, obviously. And even with the money portion, they still have to deal and cope with some of the other things that are involved there. So kudos to you on doing that. And these are the sorts of things that she does all the time, folks, by the way. She always lends her time, a hand, her support, her cooperation. I see her at all sorts of events that are charitable. I mean, I don't even know how she does. I thought I spread myself thin. I think she's got me beat, and that's hard to do if you know that. If you folks listen to me all the time, you know that I am constantly running all the time, and I think she's got me beat. It took me, I mean, literally countless numbers of emails and text messages just to put this together. So let's think about that a minute, folks. Literally. I have to start going to the gym, apparently. By the way, she does work out in Brookfield, hint, hint to the men out there. In case you're looking for her, and she goes at random hours, because I wake up at like 7, and I'm like, oh, my God, dude, she's been up for like 2 hours. I'm like, that's another thing. I assume a guy that dates you has to be up at 4, because I'm like, she either doesn't sleep or her ass is out of the bed with the devil dancing with her at like 4 a.m. with the stilettos on. I mean, you're up at like 4, right? Seriously. Yeah. See what I mean? See? There you go. Welcome to your world. Wonderful. Also, don't want to forget to mention this. 2 different things I found out via the website. You have the products that are available. I just want to clarify before I throw it out there. I saw the car koozies and the wristbands, respectively, $3.50 for the koozies, $3 for the wristbands, both for men and for women. Are those currently available just to the website? Are they available yet? I guess we want to clarify that.
It's through the website, yes. I also have glasses, motorcycle glasses, safety glasses for riding.
Cool. Okay.
Clear pinks and sunglasses. And then I just got an order of patches that are available too, but none of that has been put on the site yet.
That's kind of what I thought, actually, because we were going to mention that. I know Julie just noted or had posted up that the patches are $15 to order, so I just wanted to not put my foot in my mouth. So if individuals are listening and they want to get to be part of the group and they want to get patches, of course, I'm assuming they should do that direct for you at this point.
Yes, or once they become once they like the Facebook page, the Aura Facebook page, they can send a request via there too also.
Oh, cool. Gotcha. So that's important to know, obviously. And I don't want to forget to mention the other thing, too, obviously. I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but once they like the page or they send you information, I presume that you'll get back to them. Like I said, if they're out of state and they're interested in having a writing group that's under the ORA umbrella, they can do that, I presume. Meaning, obviously, you're the original, but are you open to that and having them all over the place, 50 states, et cetera?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
And
wonderful. I just wanted to make sure.
I will personally contact those people, and I will stay in contact with those people. There is no cost to be a part of my group. We are an open, free writing group. Anybody is welcome. It doesn't matter if you are from another group, if you belong to 5 other women's groups. The more women that you know, the more chances you are to learn more about riding and to make more friends. And you should not be shunned for being a part of any other group if you want to join another.
Amen to that one. I wholeheartedly agree. And we don't want to forget to mention, just in case no one knew this, because I do, Lucy Neef, I believe it is that how you pronounce that, was the individual responsible for putting your patches together. So if anybody out there is listening and want to get a hold of Lucy, how do they do so?
They can do that via Facebook as well. Otherwise, they can get a hold of me, and I can put them in contact with her.
Okay. Cool. Now, we'll do the rundown of events here, folks, because Julie was kind of, I'll make it straight and simple for you guys that you're listening here. Obviously, anybody in the motorcycle world probably already knows that May 6th is International Female Ride Day. So whether you're in Wisconsin and you're going to ride with Julie, or whether you're in Florida, California, or any other state, and you're a female and you're on a motorcycle, get on your motorcycle and ride, whether it's 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 p.m., whatever time of day. It is International Female Riding Day, and that's Female Writing Day for a reason. So get out, and I wholeheartedly encourage everyone everywhere to do so. Her particular ride is going to be from 10 at 4 at Hog Alley. They're going to be headed to Sunset Bar in Fort Atkinson. And then, of course, they're going to end up going back to Sharon, Hollywood's Roadhouse, which, by the way, folks, is my personal favorite to go to in the summertime. And I know I've seen Julie be there. So if anybody wants to run into Julie on purpose, just show up at Sharon's Hollywood Roadhouse. Information, which I'll put on my wall. Incidentally, I do not want to forget to mention this, Hollywood. In case you hear this, if you don't, I'll come and tell you. Good luck next week on your surgery, and I'm bringing you a little love basket before I go to New York City. She's probably going to yell at me for that, but oh well. So that takes care of May 6th. As I said, Hog Alley from 10 to 4. Clearly, we were just talking about June 10th, which is the Larry Lee Hansen Ride Benefit. As she mentioned, it's the Okachi American Legion number 399. It goes from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a 3-hour ride. $15 per rider and $10 per passenger. Obviously, as she mentioned, donations of any kind, and by that I mean not only monetary, but actual donations. If you own a business and you have a gift card, if you have a salon, you want to offer services, any kind of services. If you're a celebrity who's listening in, actor or otherwise, etc., you guys can afford to give money. So just give money, give something, give a leg, give an arm. She doesn't really care. She'll take almost anything. And obviously, you'll get an opportunity to meet her in person, and she'll be on site, as she mentioned, and she's taking donations all day. That's June 10th, and that information will be up again on my wall as well as my show page. Other thing, as she mentioned, which is May 27th, which is the Nation of Patriots ride, which is, what is the time on that one? Do you know, dear?
Nation of Patriots, we will be leaving Gerke's Corners at 8:30 in the morning and heading up to Madison, where they will have a brief ceremony, and an honorary vet will be talking. And then from there, we will be leaving to Iowa to Waukon, Iowa, which is a 100-mile ride.
Wow.
So we will carry, one person has been nominated to carry the flag from the Madison Harley-Davidson to Waukon, and from there it will be transferred from his bike to the next person who will be carrying it to the next state. And you can actually go on the Nation of Patriots. If your listeners are all over the United States, you can check to see when that flag is going to be passing through your state. And if it's nearby, I encourage you to take advantage and participate in the festivities that are going on. The only money that they get is from selling patches, voluntary donations, pins. So they don't charge to ride. None of us have to pay to ride with this flag as it tours the United States. They basically go on what people are willing to donate. So shirts, pins, and patches. And then a monetary donation if you can do that. And each location, they usually have some sort of raffles, and it's kind of like a mini bike rally, I want to say, where you buy tickets. So raffle prizes, and that also is money that is received and given for the Nation of Patriots. So there you go.
Cool. Awesome. See, we covered all those events. The last thing I want to bring up before we start going through the ways to get a hold of you, et cetera, is you had a notation listed on the website, or I should say on your Facebook page, mentioning the August 7th, which is the Ride with Sturgis Mayor benefit. That's for the benefit of Sturgis Volunteer Fire Department. Now, is that something you're involved in or just something you posted, just so I clarify?
Something I posted because I am in full-blown work season, and I don't have the ability to do that ride, but I think that ride is going to be a very memorable choose and pick when I take my time off. So during the summer is not the best for me to do that. So
I get it. I do understand completely. I just want to clarify.
Okay.
I'm glad we got that sorted out. Now, this is all the. Go ahead. I have a couple different business things I have to do, which is, first of all, I'm going to tell you, fine folks, all the different ways that you can find Julie B. And the reason I keep saying Julie B is because I literally forget every time. I always used to think it was Banaszak, and I'm like, no, that's not it. So you don't want to make anyone angry by mispronouncing their last name. So we're just going to go with Julie B, but I will spell it for you, and you'll be able to find her appropriately. She is on Facebook. First of all, she probably has 5,000 friends like I do, so you could try to friend her, but I bet if you're really cute and you ride a motorcycle with tattoos, you're in like Flint. It's Julie, Julie. The last name is Banaszak. She actually has her personal page, and of course it's listed on Facebook as ORA Female Spirit, which, of course, is representative of Open Road Angels, which is the group that we've been talking about. The website that's listed is orafemalespirit.com. Now, I'm going to go on a limb because I couldn't find you on Instagram, Twitter, or otherwise. Or am I mistaken?
You are not mistaken. I don't have time to tweet.
She's so funny. I just don't have time to tweet. I have time to do 800 other things, but it'll take me too long to tweet, like a minute and a half. That's too funny. But I totally get what you're saying. So she's not on all those other social media platforms. If you go to Hollywood's Place, you'll find her. If you go to a bike night, you'll find her. If you go to a Harley-Davidson dealership, you'll find her. She's in Tosa because I know she picks up her grandkids. She lives in Pewaukee at a disclosed location because none of you people need to know. And I know for a fact that she hangs out usually in places like Oconomowoc, Delafield. See, I do pay attention to her. That's a journalist's job, but it's also a friend's job to make sure your friends are okay. So I do creep on her a lot. So there's the last two parts of our program. Didn't this time go really fast, or is it just me? Is it me? It does go really quick, doesn't it?
It does go very quick, yes.
Okay. Or I just bored the hell out of you, whichever. But she's not going to say that on air, so that's okay. I'm fine with that. Really?
I could talk forever. Yeah, I could.
See,
all right. I got two more things, but I need to. I have one more thing I need to mention too. But because it's a show, I'll let you talk. Thanks,
Julie. I really this is how it is in real life too. Like literally, I can't get a word in with her, and everyone's always around her, and I can't get any time. And then I think that I'm going to be the center of attention on my show, and she takes my show over. Okay, Julie, that's fine. So before she gets to her last thing, I'm going to say what I'm going to say because it is my damn show, so I can. So there's a couple of business things here. First of all, to the listeners that are listening in, as well as obviously because Brittany will listen in at some point, Krista will listen in at some point, along with a lot of our mutual friends if they haven't already. So let me just say a very deep-hearted, very sincere, and very sweet thank you to your two children, obviously, as well as to our mutual friends for all contributing all sorts of information, inflections, reflections about Julie. Without you, I would not have had what I hope Julie will say is an inspiring, inspirational show, or impressive, or hell, she might have just hated it. But without all of you, Julie wouldn't be the person that she is today, and I am confident of that. So me as being one of her friends thanks you as being her family for being present and making her even more sensational than she is already. So I thank you very much for that. To anyone else that just is meeting Julie and you want to pass the word along, or you have a date for her, or you want to help her, you have money, etc., obviously, this show will be archived in a period of about 2 hours. So I'd say somewhere about 9 o'clock, you can start sharing it. People can listen in, et cetera. This is archived all year round. So you can pass the word along 24/7 all year round about Julie and her ORA group. So that would be absolutely awesome if you would. I would appreciate that. Now, to the surprise part of things. Everyone that comes on my show always gets surprises because I try to set my show different from other people. And I guess it works because our numbers are really good and people actually like me and they listen. So that's awesome. So today, Julie, is your lucky day. So let me just tell you what you have in store for you. Are you sitting down? Are you drinking? Do you have that dirty martini? Because you should.
It's gone.
Oh, my God, she said, nice of her. I was just drinking away while we were talking on air with thousands of people. Well, hell, I'm having a drink now because we're almost done. Okay, so number one we've already talked about, which is, of course, luckily for me, to those of you that listen in regularly, you already know that most of my friends are either on TV or film. So I have the very, very, very lucky benefit of going off to celebrities to asking them for help. So I will be donating different things to the auction that will hopefully bring value as it relates to you helping Larry out. So that's one thing. If you're interested in this, I thought this would be really cool, and you're totally more than welcome to steal this idea and do it for you. I personally think you should do it for you. One of the ways that you could rack in some really quick cash that would work well, that's not illegal, by the way, is I think you should put yourself up for auction. Literally, auction yourself off for a date. And if you don't, then you can auction me up for a date. The difference between auctioning me off and you off is this. I can offer somebody who's listening in, and most females are just like me, which means we like reality TV celebrities and we like red carpets and pretty dresses. Whoever decides who donates the most, let's say, for instance, you auction me off, and it's a woman. She can come to New York City with me. I will fly her out there. She can come to my film festival, spend the weekend, meet celebrities, etc. That's on the chick side of things. If you just want to pay a whole lot of money to go hang out with me, you can do that. On the guy side of things, The last bid I got was $1,000 to go out on a date with me, and I laughed. I was like, seriously? And so for the guys, I'll put something together, probably Sons of Anarchy relative, or hell, they can come out to New York City with me. I don't care. I'll put together a package, basically, is what I'm saying for you if you want to auction me off. But I personally think you should auction me off because, girl, you're going to get yourself about 800 dates. I'm not going to lie about that. So there's that. We've talked about the Gilbert Brown merchandise that will be coming because, of course, I'm getting autographed stuff because I know you like the Packers, and even though I don't, he's a friend of mine, so I'm like, okay, fine, you can help me out as far as that goes. So that's on the donation side of things. I have reached out to your daughter, and I asked her, I want to give Julie a present. You know why? Because she's just really badass, and I like her. So I'm giving you something from my own private collection as a gift from me, but I've also reached out to a very dear friend of mine who is very blingy in New York City, and she's a fashion designer. So we're going to put a whole Julie B outfit together from top all the way to the bottom, including your nice blingy little shoes, your jewelry, the whole 9 yards, all just for Jules. And then you can say that I have a Jules dress, all of my very own. Why? Because I can. Just because I felt like it and because I thought you deserved it, and I wanted to say thank you. So there's that. There's one other surprise that I won't tell you. I'll just wait till I get back from New York City. So there's that side of things. Are you okay?
I'm great. Thank you. No, I appreciate
that.
Just
take a breath. Come on. Give me a break. You know, when you get to a point where you know all these people and they're willing to do it for you and you ask and they say yes, it's a high honor. So the fact that I'm able to do that makes me feel very good. And I am very blessed in that regard. So, of course, I should share that with other people. Now, the last part of the show I'm going to do now. So if you're going to say whatever you're going to say, one more thing, say it, and then I get to tell you what I think of you. Because I tell every guest what I think of them. This will be good. So go ahead. Say what you're going to say, Julie, and then I'll tell you what I think of you.
All right. I just want to briefly add that there is a site. I just changed my profile pic. A gentleman had approached me to do a video. It's going to be an online show. He came and videotaped me last year, and he is coming back again this year in a few weeks to do another videotaping of me. If you guys could check out Friends with Harley Davidson, and like their page, they have over 135,000 followers at this time, and the new show is going to be called My Biker Life. So if you look at my Facebook page, you will see my profile pic that is on as my cover picture with the logo, if I have to explain. It's kind of like a Harley Davidson thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
So, I just changed that. I've been very blessed to be found riding my stilettos by a woman who thought that it was just so crazy amazing that I would ride a motorcycle like that, and they hunted me down. 6 months later, they contacted me, and I did a photo shoot with them, videography last year, and they're coming back to do another video shoot with me. So I am very thankful and blessed to have them, and I look forward to doing the show with them, and everybody needs to stay tuned. So once you go on their site, you'll see a few clips of the video that they did of me last year. So check it out, Friends with Harley Davidson on Facebook page. And that was my last exciting.
She actually said her last exciting thing, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So traditionally, every guest that comes on the show, besides the Michael Madsen question, obviously they get to listen to me tell them what I think of them. And the reason I added this to my show is because it's always the last thing I do. It's the last impressions that I leave my listening audience with of you, because they don't have the benefit of seeing your face or having gotten to hang out with you or ride with you or et cetera. I've had the benefit of being around you and in your presence, and I've watched you and I've learned and I've, literally creeped on you so we could do this interview. So I think it's important to pass on to my listening audience my impressions of you. And sometimes just, people sometimes will laugh, sometimes they cry, sometimes they scream. I had somebody scream and I was like, don't scream because that's really awkward. So these are my impressions of Julie B. I'm saying B because, again, I can't pronounce her name, and I'm okay with that at this point because I've been talking a long time. But more importantly, this is the only part of my show that isn't written. That means it comes straight from my heart, and these are my impressions. So here we go. as I might have mentioned from the beginning, that I met Julie probably about a year ago or something like that. I started watching and noticing her, but I was obviously, like most people, very, very afraid, intimidated by the look, intimidated by the stance. The level of strength and independence by which she projects can be very intimidating to the average person, including myself, someone who is out and about and around and a backseat rider now and knows tons of people and has a motorcycle show. She has this ability to stand out within a crowd. So I wanted to know her. From the moment that I saw her, I knew I wanted to know her better. And why? Because she radiates such a sense of self-independence and strength and just as soulless about herself. She has such a soul. And when I say soul, let me tell you what it's representative of. She's not only a survivor, but she's not a victim to anyone or anything that comes along and in her path. I have seen other women in her presence that light up the moment she walks into a room. And it's not because she has pretty heels, and it's not because her jewelry is so blingy. It's because of who she is, what she represents to most women in her community. I really am not sure that she is totally cognizant of the impact and the measure and the means by which these people take her advice, her tutelage. They look to her to be mentored. They look to her to be guided. They look to her for strength and for wisdom, not because she's older, but because she is wiser in heart and head. I have never met a woman who was so keen on who she is, and what she wants. That's very, very impressive. She has ridden a journey that far exceeds any Harley Davidson she's ever been on. From the people that she's met to the people that she has dated, to what she's lost and what she's found, to what she's gained and what she's given. In addition to which, one of the coolest parts about being around her is she is so beautiful from inside out. I see her face around her grandchildren. I watch her, oh my God, now I'm getting emotional. I watch her around other people. She makes you want to be more like her. She wants you to be stronger and believe in yourself and take that empowerment and pass it on to another woman and another woman and another woman. I couldn't possibly be more honored to have one person on my show. You actually made me more nervous than Big Ange. And Big Ange was a friend of mine from the Mob Wives who, rest in peace, Ange is no longer here. She was true to herself. She was a celebrity in every sense of the word. And she represented a whole lot of good and a whole lot of grand. You are a celebrity. You empower, you educate, you inspire, and you motivate. One day when I grow up, I want to be a Julie B. Not exactly like her, because the heels will tell me and the tattoo thing, but I want to be just like you. I'm lucky to be your friend. Many of us are very grateful to know you and to grow to love you, and we hope that you find health and happiness every day of your life that you're here, which is hopefully another 100 years. And I'll be so pissed if you don't come back to my show a year from now and tell something else or just come talk to me about wine or boys or whatever. There you go, Julie. That's what I think of you. But don't ask me that in person because I'll forget it. Just kidding. That's what I think of you.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I thank God every day for giving me something I can give to other women to make them feel better about themselves and not to give up on themselves. And if I can pass that along and make others happy and show that there's strength and true meaning as a woman, that there's nothing that you can't conquer along the way in your life. Never give up. Keep your chin up. Never give up, and never stop being who you really are inside. And everybody will have that persona that wants other people to be around. That's how it is, you know.
She's fabulous.
You project what you get back. So
agreed. Completely.
Showing confidence. I truly believe that. And I so thank you. And I look forward to posting. I don't drink wine, but I'll toast something with you. And when you get back from your trip, I really look forward to seeing you soon, because I know you got a busy schedule coming up as well.
I do.
I'm leaving next week to go to Florida to visit my daughter and granddaughters down there. Super excited about that for the weekend. So
I got you.
Yeah.
And I'll be in touch, obviously, because now that I know what kind of guy you're looking for, I'm going to be so on this. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get her a boyfriend. I got her an outfit. I'm getting her all this really cool bling. This is, like, so awesome. And this is all in a matter of one show. That's fabulous. Awesome. And, yes, you will see me probably, depending on when you're leaving. Tonight, I have a date with, I have to write 3 articles tonight. So me and my notebook are best friends tonight with my little glass of wine here. So yay me. Can't go out and ride a Harley. Got to sit here and write. Yay! And then my kids are home for 6 days, and I'm in New York for 4.
Well, Saturday you can be at Hollywood to welcome our arrival on our motorcycles. So I would love to see you there at the end of our ride on
what
Saturday.
What time is it again?
We should be arriving at Hollywood about 2 o'clock.
Okay,
on
I
Saturday.
Well, I'll have to talk to the boys
back.
about that. Well, that's just it. My sons are going to be home this weekend. They're going to be like, Mom, do we really want to go out there? And I'm going to be like, yeah, I really want to go out there. So we'll see how it goes. We might have time before the drive-in. We'll see. I'll see.
All right.
But I'll be in touch with you because I have to tell you all this stuff and all this jazz. And I'm so totally proud that I'm not afraid of her anymore. So there you go. Sometimes looks can be very deceiving. Don't judge a book by its cover. Take the book, open it up, and see what's on the inside. Right? Exactly. Right. Okay, young lady. Are you headed off to bike night? Is there a bike night tonight, by the way? That's what I forgot to ask you. Somebody told me to ask you that. Ask her if there's bike anything tonight. Is there bike anything tonight?
Museum. They started bike night actually when the weather got nice here. Indoors, motorcycles are optional, but I was there a few weeks ago on a Thursday. They had a bike actually in the cafe area, and they had live music, and they were raffling off things. And actually that was 414 because the 414 bike was down there that night. On Wednesdays, doesn't start until the end of this month, but there were a few motorcycles there last night. So the big bike blessing is this Sunday. So if you want your bike blessed before the riding season, you might want to go down to Oak Creek and take care of that. There is a minimal charge to get in. Tickets are available at Hollywood. If you're out and about, you can buy them from her at her bar. Otherwise, I do have an event. We're going to Studs Bar and Pub, I guess you would say, for a free breakfast before we head down to the bike blessing. So a lot going on this weekend, too.
Oh, awesome. Well, there's always a lot going on, so that's really, really exciting. That is just absolutely awesome. Wonderful. So now that I've taken up like 8 hours of your time, I'm so sorry, because you didn't have anything else that you were going to do. So I just figured I'd keep you all night long. Actually, I can only have 2 hours of a show. So I told everybody tonight, I'm like, don't bother me until like 6:30, because I knew for a fact that we were going to take 90 minutes. So I was like, that's awesome. So it worked out very well. And I'll stay in touch about the donations. I'll let you know about that. And when I get back from New York, I'll have your other stuff. And I'll try to see if I can sneak a visit in so I can give you my personalized 2 presents before I go. But your presence was more than enough. That's all I wanted, was your presence, and you gave me lots of it today. So thank you very much. 2 hours, it's archived. If you want to print, I'll send you the link within 2 hours. You can go ahead and post it if you like. And thank you. And don't be a stranger, please.
I will not. That's for sure. I will see you soon. Hopefully Saturday. Thank you again.
Thank you, dear.
Love you.
All right. I love you back, darling. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Tell me she's not amazing and fabulous, right? Okay, so one more time, we're going to do with the Julie B thing, because, we talked about the whole I can't pronounce her name, right? So it's Julie, and it's Banaszak, Facebook page. That's her personal name, of course. I think she's a little bit under 5,000, so you may still be able to friend her. And it's ORA Female Spirit, otherwise known as Open Road Angels. The website is orafemalespirit.com. Obviously, of course, as we mentioned, you can go onto the Facebook page. You can get signed up. On the website itself, you can go ahead and register. As we said, can koozies for $3.50, wristbands for $3 for both men and women. You heard her talking about the patches, which she's got. Go ahead and get a hold of her directly as far as that goes. As we mentioned earlier in the program, Brittany Scheide's Syrian campaign, which is Save the Children fundraiser for Syrian children. I will post that on my page as well as on my show page and other social medias. Fatima's new salon, which is opening up the day after Mother's Day, which is Salon, and it's Stylush, which is STYLUSH as far as that goes. I also posted that up. We'll go ahead and do that again. We want to do a run-through, of course, obviously on the events. May 6th, as we mentioned, anywhere in town or in the 50 states or really out of the country, International Female Riders Day is May 6th. Her particular ride, It's the Lee Hog Alley. Goes from 10 to 4. They're headed to Sunset Bar in Fort Atkinson, and then back, of course, to our dear friend Sharon Hollywood's Roadhouse. So definitely check with her on that. Otherwise, June 10th is the actual Larry Lee Hansen Ride benefit. Okachi American Legion, $3.99, going from 9:30 to 6 p.m., $15 a rider, $10 per passenger, 3-hour ride involved there. And as she said, she's taking monetary donations, business donations, all sorts of other things. So we're excited to see what we can reap in terms of that entire benefit, both her and I putting our heads together. For those of you that are close to the Sturgis area, August 7th, 2017, it's an actual ride with the mayor of Sturgis, and that's to benefit the Sturgis Volunteer Fire Department. It also includes an entire souvenir pack, which is located on their Facebook page and on their website, and it's a total of $176 per rider. And as she mentioned, May 27th, the Nation of Patriots ride is going on, and she is also part of the committee for the Rustic Road Ride, which benefits Children's Hospital. So if you, childrenshospital.com is their website, and of course the Rustic Road Ride, if you type that into Facebook, you'll find the actual ride page and all the stats and information there. Almost forgot about that. What we want to throw in the other location, which is, of course, let's just see here, we have nationofpatriots.com and, of course, Rustic Road Ride. And as she said, the last part with the filming, which is Friends with Harley Davidson, is called My Biker Life. So if you do an actual internet or Google search, you should be able to find her. So that takes care of all the ways. I want to say thank you so much to Julie. I, of course, said thank you so much to her family, and I bet this is someone calling in that is her family. So just hang on one second and let's find out who it is. Hello? And apparently whoever it was, we just missed. And now I feel really bad because I gave them all this time to call in. So I'm sorry, Crystal, if that was you. I'm sorry, Fatima, if that was you. I'm so sorry, but we just wrapped up. So please make it a point. Show up on May 6th, show up on June 10th, show up on August 7th, show up at May 27th, show up Saturday. Obviously, she'll be at Hollywood. Show up for the bike blessing in Oak Creek. Obviously, she's at Quaker State on Wednesday. She's at Bike Night at Harley-Davidson Museum on Thursday. So again, thanks to Jules, thanks to all of her wonderful friends, her family, everybody that helped me orchestrate this. Obviously, as I mentioned early on in the evening, next week I'm headed to New York City from the 10th to the 13th. However, I'm still going to be on radio next week. 2 shows, and then I'm hopping the plane. One of them, which is May 9th, which is Serena Probasi, who is coming on the show, which is not only an advocate for a nonprofit organization, but she's brought out a new book. So she's going to be on the show at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. And then, of course, Sue Phillips will be on May 11th at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. And that interview is being done from New York City. She doesn't realize that yet. Sue Phillips is one of the highly acclaimed individuals out there who actually takes and molds from scratch a perfume scent that you can call your own. So what I find exciting is that if we want to have a sin perfume, Sue Phillips is the girl to talk to. So that's 4 o'clock Central Standard Time on the 11th. Obviously, I'm off for the rest of the week. I'm going off to my dungeon to write, and obviously tomorrow starts my wonderful weekend. If you guys are out and about, come to the drive-in on Saturday with us. Otherwise, you guys have a great weekend, and I thank you for listening, and we'll be talking next week, Tuesday. Take care.
Ready? Okay. We got paper, yes we do. White rolled notebooks, pencils, glue. We got crayons, every hue. School supplies for your whole crew. Target's got everything you need to ready, set, go back to school. Ready? Okay. We got paper, yes we do. White rolled notebooks, pencils, glue. We got crayons, every hue. School supplies for your whole crew. Target's got everything you need to ready, set, go back to school.